Hello and welcome to another episode of Whatever's Cool, the show where we talk about anything and everything that is cool in the world today. I am the Razor's Edge, known as Daniel Paul Crow, and on this episode, I have a sit-down interview with Luke Reznor. We talk about how he got into the wrestling industry, as well as what's happened in between, and, well, what he finds cool, because that's actually pretty cool. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Always be ready with Luke Reznor. Thank you so much for being part of the show. I know that it is the holidays now. Now, this is going to come out further in the future, so when we're recording this, guys, this is during the Easter break, so yeah, I thought it'd be a good time to get to know you. So, like, firstly, I just wanted to get a feeling, how and who got you into wrestling?
Was a group of friends, some of them pretty current in APW. I pretty much would have been around 2019. I unfortunately went through a breakup, which was just a bit of a miserable person for a while. And my friends and all that were like, hey, like, we think you'd be really good at this. You should come down. Obviously, being a massive wrestling fan since I was little, my brother definitely got me into it from the start.
Nice.
And yeah, they were like, come on down and, see what you got. You look pretty agile. May as well give it a go. So yeah, I went down there one night and talked to Crash, and he was running one of the sessions. And he was like, yeah, no worries, man, like, jump in and all that. And we started doing the drills, and I picked up on it pretty quickly. So I felt pretty confident from the start. They actually did one of my favorite memories, and I still have it on my phone. We do an up and over drill, which basically you're in the corner, you've got to jump over the top rope to the outside, and then back in. They got one of the guys to stand on the outside in case I might have slipped or fallen. I remember standing there, and I'm like, okay, you can do this. Jump straight over, and everyone, I heard a huge gasp from everyone in the session. And in the video, the guy behind me who's supposed to catch me, he's like, oh, okay, yeah, fine. And he just walked off. He's like, nah, this kid's got it. This is fine.
Whoa! Oh my God.
So to have a first session where, I thought I was going to be okay with it, and, definitely not boasting, but to have that confidence to do one of their drills almost first go and have that sort of audible gasp from a bunch of people. Some of them I've known for years. Some of them I'd never met before. Was really humbling. It was really nice. So yeah.
I just can't believe that he just went, yeah, he's got it. Yeah, that's cool. If you, imagine if you fell and broke your neck. I wouldn't be in that position. Gee.
I was dreading that might have happened. I thought the nerves and, like, if I was sweating would have been a factor, but no, I managed to jump over the top rope, got the audience to make some noise, and then jump back in. I do remember I had to do a back roll as I came in. I do remember kneeing myself in the top of the head. So that was a small inconvenience, but not too hard. But I remember I didn't have the form quite right, so I remember just going right back and bonk on the head. But otherwise, it was all great for a first session, so I can't complain at all.
What was Jason like as a trainer at the start?
Oh, super lovely. He's pretty much the same as he's always been for the years that I've known him. Super warm and inviting. He's just definitely the feel at APW, especially the training, is always, take your time. It doesn't matter if you're a small guy like me, if you're a bigger guy, if there's things that, if you've got pre-existing injuries, doesn't matter what you can and can't do. You do it at your own pace, and someone else will help you pick up on little tricks and whatnot to help you along the way. And we're all a very supportive bunch of kids and bunch of people, because we're all there to support each other. And the vibes never change. It's always been just a lot of fun at training sessions. So
I'm getting that feel from a lot of the stars we've had from APW here, that it's a family environment, and just sounds like a great place to interact. And
100%.
Yeah.
It's a place where you can come and unwind. So, like, even though you are, even if you're coming from work, or if the younger ones have school or whatever, even though you might be in for a night of exhausting drills and whatnot, you still feel really safe and comfortable because you've got people there to support you and to back you up. And I've just got nothing but good things to say about it. It's always a place where I feel I can come and unwind and let frustrations out, get my emotions out, do what you got to do, and you feel safe and have fun doing it. So
Oh, great. Absolutely great to hear. Now, obviously, you started back in 2019. When
Yep.
exactly did you, sorry, when exactly did you debut?
I debuted at the Breakout 32, which was I'm gonna say November of
Hmm.
last year.
Hmm.
So the one before B Squared debuted. Um, the unfortunate thing with me for all those years was I was very inconsistent with training. I think a lot of like school and um, work got in the way, so I could sometimes get to maybe a session a week or whatnot, but there was a lot of weeks where unfortunately I just didn't have the mental energy, or I felt that I was too lacking behind because I had missed so many sessions.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I tried to go when I could, and still never really lost the rhythm. But it did take me a while to get there. But I became much more consistent in 2022, and I think they saw that and got to the point where it's like, okay, I think it's finally time for him to show what he can do. So
Mm. That was
yeah.
a match you had with Nate. Is that right?
No, end of
No?
the road was with Nate. My
Oh yeah.
debut was
Okay.
against
Sorry,
James
my bad.
Marshall. Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of James Marshall, use the hashtag James Marshall OnlyFans. Let's make it happen. Um, God, it's been how many episodes? I'm still doing that joke. Um,
Keep it going.
I'll be surprised if he actually makes one, and then he just puts photos of me. That's what I see that joke ending up. I don't know.
He's got to dedicate the first one to you, no doubt.
Well, tell us about your first match with James, because it seems like everyone I've had on this show, they have some sort of story with James. So, what's your story with him in your first match?
Well, back in the day, he was actually kind to me, and he is one of the people that sort of I was first watching when I was introduced to local Victorian wrestling.
Hmm.
He was one of the first, definitely one of the first characters that sort of drew me into it and was like, I hate this guy. I think that it's definitely a great indication that he's doing something right, and he knows what he is. He's not going to change for anybody, and as much as I hate it, I do respect it.
Mm.
Um, but actually, I went to high school with him, only a few years below him, but never really saw much of him around school. And then after he'd left, and then I'd left, I'd sort of been around him a lot more, and yeah, I don't know, just been around him for many years since starting. Nothing too crazy has happened, but in the times I do get to talk to him without him being a bit of an ass, he does have a lot of words of wisdom, and he's definitely someone I'd look up to.
Mm.
So, um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much else. I don't have any crazy stories about him, unfortunately.
Uh, well, as much as I like to pick on James,
Yep.
honestly, one of the sweetest guys outside the ring I've ever met. Always nice, always very humbled. I just like to pick on him. So
There's
this
always
is
got to
me.
be there's always someone to pick on.
Yeah.
You got to have one.
Well, let's talk about the first match you had with him. What did you learn from that match?
Oh, look, you can learn as much as you can in training, but it's only when I think personally, it's only when you go out there that you definitely you learn a whole lot more. Uh, First of all, like even if you're doing training sessions for 2 3 hours, you learn drills step by step. And you learn bits and pieces about it as you go, and you get times to rest, and you get times to, sort of soak it all in. The debut was a much different experience. I used to distinctly remember when my entrance hit and I went out for the curtain for the first time. I remember beforehand, Crash and all that were telling me just to soak in, the atmosphere of the crowd, and sure as hell I did, because I almost forgot to, walk off the stage and do my entrance. I was just looking around and soaking it all in, and I think I might have gone too long because I remember looking at Jem and she gave me the little like, go on, hurry up. But yeah, so definitely, soak it in. You can learn so much, and you can do all these cool moves and everything like that in front of nobody. And then when you get onto the actual stage, you think, are people gonna go crazy when this happens, or is this just another move to them?
Hmm.
But yeah, high fived and gave a few hugs to a few people in the crowd, close personal. friends that have been supporting me through the years. So I was like, I remember talking to a guy at my work who was coming to the show, and I was like, "Oh, get ready because I'm gonna high five you when I come around the crowd." He's like, "Can I give you a hug?" And I was like, "Yeah, you know what? Why not? I'm just gonna find you and just hug you." So, um, yeah, you get. Oh, I would, it was only maybe a 7-minute match as well.
Mm.
Thinking about it, and I can not get tired after doing a 2 to 3 hour session. But yeah, that 7 minutes of just nonstop, like there's a lot to take in. There's a lot to sort of enjoy and to be focused on. So yeah, I got tired, like really tired after that. Broke a massive sweat, but it was so much fun. I know everyone will tell you that it's probably one of the greatest experiences of their life, especially their debut, and it's true. There's no lie about it.
I've known a few people in the industry, and I can honestly say no. I've a lot of them their nerves got shot. So some of them have had the sex same experience with you. You go on stage and like, wow, and then they actually have to be pushed into going down. But no, like I totally understand that. Like you've got you say for a 2 hour session, you normally fine, but then you had a 7-minute match and you puffed. As a performer myself, just I know the show's not about me, but I'll just make a quick anecdote on this. So back when I was still performing in my band Ruckus, if anyone remembers that, I remember it was either the second or third show. I literally just went completely blank, and I had to get I think it was Mark who just hit me and goes, "Sing." Come on. Like, okay. And I'm doing there. After one song, my shirt was drenched. I've never been that nervous in my entire life doing that. Not like now. I'm actually sweating right now because I'm nervous as well. But we'll talk about that.
It's the same vibe.
All right. Enough about me. But one thing I wanted to ask, because I had noticed this in your name, Reznor.
Yep.
Now, did you take that from the great Trent Reznor?
Absolutely, I did.
Thank you. Okay, I got another boy. Out of the 5 guys, got another boy. All right. So, why did you want to be named after Trent?
It was a lot of just sort of trying to find that name. Yeah, I don't know what it was about the last name. Obviously, I didn't want my, real last name to come out. I don't want, of the off chance that people will find it and harass. I don't want any of that. But I was trying to find that cool sort of last name, either whether it be a rhyme or it was just something explosive that when you hear that name you could really get behind. Trent Reznor, obviously a big presence in music for however long.
Almost 30 years now. Oh no, I think nearly 40 years actually, now that I think of it, because he's been around for a long time.
Wow. 1.5 times my age. So but yeah, like even before me.
Thanks for making me feel old, Luke. Thank you for making me feel incredibly old.
Well, I've ruined this interview. I'm gonna have to leave now. But no, like as much as I enjoy the music, it wasn't actually well, I mean it was when I was thinking of it was sort of directed at his name, but I was thinking something explosive, and then I realized that Reznor was pretty close to Lesnar for like Brock Lesnar. So I was like, I don't know if that's going to be too close. Like if people will look at my name and be like, well, you just sort of you took someone else's homework and they said, don't copy too much, and I just pretty much copied. Who
gives a shit? Like,
yeah.
Best example, the Andersons. How many friggin' Anderson members are there in the family? In the family now. And they're not actual really Andersons. I think there's only one real Anderson out of the entire family, from memory.
The rest are fake.
Yeah. Shit.
But, so yeah, I was a bit worried that like, any name that I came up with might be associated similar. Even trying to find even right now, trying to find a sort of a nickname. I think everyone has that nickname that they relate to. Conflict Axiom's got one for each, sometimes two. You've got Blake Curtis's Big Bold Bitch, but also Battle Lord. So
I just call him the beautiful Blake Curtis. That's how I see him.
Yes, you are a big fan of him.
I am.
I saw the interview with them. That was
Love you,
actually
Blake.
that was actually really fun to that was a fun one to watch. But
Yeah, it wasn't fun when they showed up at my doorstep at 12 o'clock at night saying you better get us on your show and it's going to be tomorrow night, right? Okay, yep, cool. How did you find my place?
I'm not surprised they use these tactics, but let's not talk about how they got that information. But yeah, so just with like a name, it was quite hard. I was just trying to think of all these different names. Not even use my own actually. I was originally I was not going to use Luke. I was actually going to use the name Justin as a tribute to my brother because he's older. He got me into wrestling, and for many many years he's a much bigger fan. So I wanted to do something to tribute to him. And as someone was talking to me about my name, they knew about the Reznor part, and I told them I wanted to go by Justin, and they cut some promo, or they were talking about something, and they were like, oh yep, and Luke Reznor, and I was like, okay, we're gonna drop the Justin name now and go for that.
Justin Reznor. I don't know, that this doesn't ring it. This doesn't sound as good as Luke Reznor. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing against your brother. It just doesn't flow off the tongue for me.
Now looking back at it now, I'm happy that we kept it as Luke. I don't have to trying to remember names by myself is hard enough. So if someone's calling me by a completely different name, that's going to be hard to recognize. But looking back, it's a lot better that it became Luke Reznor. But I still want to do those little things that pay tribute to my brother and even people along the way who have whether they be in wrestling right now or throughout my years, people who are a massive influence in the wrestling scene for me. So I like to do tributes and make sure people are acknowledged that they've helped me along the way.
Yeah, that's very sweet of you to do, and I think we need a little bit more of that. I don't see that happening much these days. But then again, I haven't interviewed that many wrestlers or that many stars out there to really find it out. So, guys, if you want to be part of what it's called, make sure to send me an email. What it's called at business. What if it's called business@gmail.com. That's a cheeky plug. I'm getting all the lines tonight, aren't I? Jesus. Now, obviously, we had the episode with Ruby, your manager, and first and foremost, lovely, incredibly cool, and incredibly sweet as well. I think she's absolutely fantastic. Were you annoyed when she didn't announce you as one of her favorites? Well, her favorite in the group.
Look, I understand. Definitely her, the presidency when she was announced. That's a big thing, and I'm glad that some members of these five guys were able to go along and support her. I unfortunately was not. Do I regret it? And do I wish it would change now that she didn't name me as a favorite? Kinda. But we roll with the punches. No, she's incredibly lovely. I've heard her name around for many years, but never crossed paths. So up until VPW, when she first came out and gave us the card, was when I first properly met her. And even backstage, super lovely. A delight to talk to, and just wants to take us to new heights and get our names out there. Most of us, aside from John, like I know B Square and myself, this is our first full year of wrestling. I'm not 100% on Ace. I know he's been around for a bit, but not for a year. But it's incredibly humbling that someone has seen us in our first year and has gone, I want to see what you guys can do. We did just go as these five guys. No one really knew our names. We got photos and stuff with fans after the show, but I don't think anyone actually remembered to ask our names, which is fitting of the reason why she wants to take us bigger and better. But we'll see what happens.
Also explains why I f***ed up on the name in that episode too.
See, you didn't screw up on my name, which was fine. Like you guys, I was one of the last ones, but I think you said that Will Walker was part of these five guys and not Ace Shack. I'm bringing this up to roast now. But
you know what the worst thing is? I have Ace in the future. And that
that's a topic.
No. Not only is it going to be a topic. Wow, that first message.
He's giving you shit. You're gonna cop it soon.
Him and Will both. Wow, that was.
Will got on it.
Yeah, just wait for those episodes to come out, guys. It is going to be very awkward experience. Indeed.
I say good luck to you when that happens.
I'm just going to dig myself into a further hole by asking this next question. Oh God, who is your favorite member of these five guys? And you can't say yourself on this one.
No, definitely not. What's a tough one? I sort of got back into training properly around the time that both members of B Squared came into the academy. So it's sort of, even though I've been training for a while before that, I still think that was the point where I had the massive refresh where I was more consistent. So I'd say I've kind of come up with those two, and both of them are super lovely. If I do have a favorite, can I say B Squared?
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay, so I can. All right, sweet. So we're not picking one; we're picking.
Yeah, it's not like JSA and Will. I'm sorry. I mean, Ace are gonna say anything. You know, they're just like, okay, yep. You know, maybe they'll turn on you in the future. I don't know. I'm not. I'm just shooting the shit on that one. I'm trying to dig myself out the grave, Luke. I'm not.
Of course. not going further, are you? But,
well, according to the last episode with Ruby, I dug myself probably 5 times. So, geez,
keep the shovel out of you on this one.
I've got 5 grand, so I'll put you all in there. That's okay. That'll be fine.
Yeah, make a group one.
Oh my God. So we got B Squared. Hang on. To make you one of my boys officially, who do you go for in the AFL?
Hawthorn.
No, I knew there was a reason.
No, I don't.
Knew there was a reason. Knew there was a reason why I was going to make him a boy.
Wow. No, I used to really enjoy footy, but just lifestyle and whatnot nowadays. I'll watch a game if there's not much to do on the day that they're playing, but I haven't followed them for years.
Nah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, if you're not a full follower, that's okay. We can still be boys. That's fine.
We're still cool.
Yeah, we're still cool. Actually, no. I will ask this. Do you watch soccer?
No.
No. Okay, don't worry. No, they were still boys.
Right.
That's the crucial one. Because if you don't say Melbourne victory, I'm like, nah. This interview's over. I'll delete this episode and we'll just say Levy. Well, it is the start of 2023. We're only a quarter of the way in. What is your plans for 2023?
To take over. I not on any promos or anything that I've done, but I always say to people that the Reznor takeover is beginning this year. Even if you count the 2 matches, like the debut and Nate for last year, I think already. Personally, I think I've had a pretty good start to my first full year in wrestling. What have I done? I've done 2 members of Conflict Axiom.
Yep.
I've done Big Dash with the help of these 5 guys.
Yes.
So a giant. And then I've had former APW heavyweight champions Aiden Miller and Xavier Black. That was
a good match.
That was one of the most daunting experiences going up against Miller. Especially because I didn't have anything to do with that card until the night before. So they were like, hey, would you be available for this? And I was like, yeah, no worries. Came in thinking nothing too crazy. And then they were like, yeah, you've got a match against Miller. I was like, sorry, you're former heavyweight champion. They're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, sure, I'll go with it. I didn't think a guy of little matches, in myself would get the opportunity, but yeah, and I think it was my 5th overall match, and that was a truly incredible and humbling experience. So,
well, you got to take any of the chances to come up. I mean, you never know who you might be facing. I can't believe I'm going to revert back to James Marshall on this one. But James had told me that he went to an event and they saw him and says, do you want to be part of this? And he goes, really? And then he's like, yeah, I got my gear in the car. Yeah, I'll go do it. And then he was on the event like, how does that come about? I think, but this is the industry where you always have to be ready. It doesn't matter where you are, have your gear somewhere close. You might get put on a show. And that was just one of the most random things he's ever said to me. And I'm like, bravo to you, man, for being ready. Because, you never, like you said, you don't know who you're going to have on the show. And you had a former world champion there.
Yep, it's actually one of the most important rules that I've learnt is to always bring your gear. Might not even be a promotion. I mean, look, if it's a promotion you've never been on before, there's a really low chance you won't get anything. But for stuff like APW, when I know I'm not in a match or anything like that, I bring my gear just in case. Everyone tells me, bring your gear because if unfortunately something goes wrong, sickness or an injury beforehand of the show, and they need someone to fill in, man, they if you're wearing just street clothes, and even if you are, maybe 2 or 3 year into your career, even if you're wearing street clothes, I don't think they would pick you, even if you have the name to back it up. But if you got your gear there, they'll just like get your gear on, you're going out and so to wrestle these guys, and yeah, it's honestly one of the most important things you can do for wrestling is to always bring your gear, no matter which event you're going to.
Exactly. Yeah. It is that time now to ask the staple question here of What If It's Cool. What is something that you find cool that nobody else does?
Oh. Okay,
I've stumped him. I've stumped him.
Yeah.
The second person I've stumped.
Who was the other person?
That was Adrian Mineira, for the owner and promoter of World Series Wrestling.
Okay.
He actually he was looking around, it's like, oh, what do I find cool? Because he says a lot of things, but he didn't elaborate. Next time I have him on the show, I'm actually gonna tell him in advance, find something because I want to know what it is. I'm
trying to look around my room and think of polar opposites because I'm pretty much a nerd through and through. You've seen the pop vinyls, you've seen little game bits and pieces. Like I try and do it in my work. I've got video game tattoos everywhere. I don't know. I don't really have anything that's not cool.
Well, one thing I did notice when we were about to start, because the sign in the back that you have there, say no to drugs and say yes to candy, I think that's actually pretty cool.
Yep. My teeth hate me for it, but I am one of the biggest sugar heads you'll ever meet. If it's got sugar, if it is candy, I'm there. Like you cannot stop me. I've got not that side. Got an Easter bunny over there and a half-eaten one on my bedside table. Actually, I'll see if I can not break it. But I have 2 little candy jars on my bedside table.
Oh.
One is Easter eggs and another is chocolate rocks. Don't question it. I got that for my birthday.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, when I used to live by myself, I had a full candy bar, or this big candy bar shelf in my kitchen. And yes, very, very fond of sweets and anything delicious. So.
Okay, I think that is your cool thing, that you love sweets, and that's pretty awesome. Like you have all that there. I mean, as a diabetic, I know I shouldn't be advocating that, but no, that's actually pretty cool that you got all that and you had a candy bar yourself. That would have been a sight for sore eyes. You should probably date a Filipino because love sweets a lot, our bread's sweet. Like a lot, our candy's a lot sweeter than most as well.
Yep.
Yeah. Are you single or you're not single?
I am not single.
You're not single. Okay, that's okay. Sorry, ladies. I had to ask you. He's a very good-looking man. I mean,
just ruin the appeal of that one.
Yeah, well, we didn't want to do a Homer Simpson and say, he's not married or anything like that.
Yeah. That would be a big problem for me to deal with.
Yeah, definitely no. But yeah, so we're at the end. I need to ask another question for you. What is? Where can we find you in all your socials?
I don't really have a lot. Twitter is one I stay off of. There's too much. It's a place where too much goes on, and I don't need to be there.
Yeah.
But otherwise, if you give me 1 second to look at my socials, because I do forget.
That's all right. You're making me feel young when you say you forget, because that's the one thing I don't forget.
You can pretty much find me on Instagram only for the moment at luke.reznor.
Mm-hmm.
I do personally share a lot of my wrestling stuff to friends and family on Facebook first and foremost. I might make a page for it down the line. I mean, considering the amount of matches I've had so far and what hopefully should be a good rest of the year, I think more socials need to be made and maybe some merch down the line.
Oh yeah, definitely merch, and let me know. We'll get that on and we'll plug it for you, and
excellent.
Maybe makes a bit of money on that one, because here at What If It's Cool, we love making money. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, money makes the world go round.
That's right. All right, Luke Reznor, thank you so much for being part of What If It's Cool. I really appreciate your time, and can't wait to see what's next for you in 2023.
No, thank you very much. Stay tuned. Hopefully some, again, really good things in the works this year to make it one of the most exciting first years of wrestling.
Yeah.
But yeah, catch me where you can, and I'll be at almost every promotion. So hope to see people there.
Can't wait.
And that's the end of that episode. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. Want more from What If It's Cool? Make sure to check out the YouTube channel where you can find the latest episodes of Mukbang Around, Reaction, and of course, the vodcast. Don't forget to follow What If It's Cool on all socials. It can be found at What If It's Cool. Keep that support coming. And until next time, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.